My first 2 weeks on the carnivore diet were absolutely awful. I'm gonna explain to you why and how you can avoid making the same mistakes that I made. Back in December of 2022, I started the carnivore diet. I've been doing it for 7 months now and I've lost 100 pounds. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The first 2 weeks were awful. I just thought, okay, go eat meat and you'll get fit, you'll lose weight, you'll be able to feel better, like everybody else says. Well, that wasn't the case. That first day I went to the grocery store, bought some ground beef, bought a couple steaks, and I threw everything else out in the fridge. Said, I'm committing to this, I'm gonna do this. My first meal was like 11:30, had about probably 3/4 to a pound of ground beef, ate it like nothing, went on with my day, no problem. Cool. Later on that evening, I think I had a New York strip. Went, cut it up, ate it, cool. But when it was time to go to bed, my body was saying, hey, we're missing something from today. You didn't give me everything that I'm used to, carbs. And I actually had a really hard time going to sleep because my body was saying, feed me, I'm hungry. And I had a really hard time going to sleep. I finally got to bed like 2:30 in the morning, woke up around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and the only thing that I could think of was food. But I have a farm to run, need to get outside, and animals eat before I do. I figured that as long as I got my day going, that this hunger feeling would pass. Well, got everything done, came back inside, and I was hungry, but I didn't want meat. I was like, oh, it didn't sound very good, but I forced myself to eat like another half a pound of ground beef, and I went back to bed. It was probably, noon, and I laid down, got on YouTube, and I didn't have any energy to get up and do anything. Like, the only thing I could think of was food. In between videos, I'm thinking, okay, I gotta eat something. But I already ate, and I didn't want meat. I wanted a sandwich. I wanted some pasta. I wanted something that I was used to. I wanted some sort of bready, carbs, rice, something along that nature. But I knew that I wasn't gonna do that. I was gonna stick to this. Come dinner time, I made a steak. I only ate about half of it because I couldn't get it down. It just didn't taste good. That night, oh my God, I tossed and turned. I woke up every hour on the hour after I got to sleep, and the next morning was the worst. I remember that day 3. Shoot, I really had to force myself. I drug myself out of bed because, like I said, I have a farm to run, and I was moving so slow. I had such brain fog. I couldn't think straight. I remember I was going to move my cows, and I normally call them through to the next paddock. And I go, and I remove the electric line, and I'm looking at them, and they're looking at me, and I'm going, why aren't you doing what you're supposed to be doing? And I'm standing right there blocking them and not calling them through. And they're all looking at me like, what's up with you, dude? And then it's like I had to think about everything like 3 times in order for me to do it. Finally got them through, went back inside, and I just started to sweat profusely. My body felt tingly. I felt weird. I've never felt like that before. I almost quit right then and there. I almost went and got some sort of sugar, some sort of carbs in me. But I went, no, this has got to pass, because sugar is like the most addicting substance. It's more addicting than actually most hardcore drugs. I'm like, this is a withdrawal. Because I started sweating. My body was almost not shaking, because that would have probably freaked me out more, but I did not feel strong. I just felt completely weak. I went back to bed again. I slept until night. Got up, forced myself to eat I forced myself to eat like a pound of ground beef, and it just was not tasting good at all. I mean, it was just the most repulsive, disgusting thing that I could have ate. It's not what my body wanted. My body's going, you're used to giving us boats loads of carbs, boatloads of sugars, and now you're giving us protein. This is not what we want. And it was that night was tough. That night was really, really tough. I don't think I slept. I would like wake up and okay, 5 minutes went by. I'm going, okay, this has got to end. I was doing all kinds of Googling, see how long the withdrawals will last, and see how long I had to put up with this. And I got through that third day. The fourth day, it was more of the same. It was more of the same, and I drug myself around. I couldn't do anything on the computer. I couldn't get any work done. I just was exhausted. And I knew that, okay, just gotta keep pushing. If everybody else can do it, then I can do it. So I just kept pushing, Day five got a little bit better, but when I ate like 2 pounds of meat that day, and I got the meat sweats like you wouldn't believe. Like I was sweating. You know, when you get meat sweats, that's what they're called. Like you can feel like almost the greasiness of the meat come out on your skin, and it felt awful. That was the first day I jumped on the scale. That was the first day that I said, okay, I'm gonna see where I'm at, see if this is working. It's got to be doing something. And then in 5 days, I was down like 7.5 to 8 pounds. And I went, okay, well, it's working. It's working. And the way that I justified it to myself is that, you know what, I didn't stress myself at all. I gave myself whatever I wanted for quite a long time. That, okay, this is my punishment. I don't deserve to feel good right now. And I'm just going to keep pushing, going to keep moving forward. There was a thought in my mind that I'd go a week and then then treat myself to, you know, a couple days of getting back to normal. So that week came, and I went, no, I can't break this, because I was felt like I was starting to turn a corner, but I had zero. I mean, when I say zero, I mean zero energy. Normally I'm kind of bouncing off the walls. I can get everything done, and I live my normal life. I mean, to go to the store, to go to the farmer's market, to go get more beef, to go get more meat, I mean, it was terrible. I started implementing a little bit more bacon at night, and made sure it was sugar-free, made sure it was just as natural as can be, and that seemed to help a little bit, because it upped I was thinking it upped the fat content. Reason I think that was helping, especially after talking to more and more people and listening to some of these comments from the last few videos, was the amount of salt in it. See, I wouldn't really season my steaks because I didn't really want to put anything on it. I would throw maybe a tiny pinch of salt and sometimes pepper on it. I didn't add anything to it. So that first week I started incorporating a little bit of bacon. And over the course of the next week, like, I started to feel like I already hit rock bottom. My body started to become more fat adapted. So the new fat was the fuel, that the protein was the fuel, rather than looking and waiting for the carbs to, be able to burn that off during the day. So I started to feel a little bit better, started feeling a little bit more energetic. I was able to do a little bit more that week than I did the previous week, and I said, okay, just gotta stick it out, just gotta stick it out. Day 13, 14 happened. It's like, it was just night and day. It's like somebody flipped on a light bulb, and my body went, I'm ready, I'm good. And from that day on, I've had more energy than I know what to do with. I mean, I'm running around I'm walking 17, 25, sometimes 40 something thousand steps a day, doing stuff around here, just continuously moving, just continuously doing more and more. But now looking back, the mistakes that I made, that hopefully that some of you that are considering doing this can learn from, is I should have been supplementing myself with some sort of electrolytes. I should have been taking some salt, maybe adding in some magnesium, some potassium, definitely more sodium, because my body just didn't adjust quite right. My body was saying it was saying I need carbs, but I could have replaced those carbs in my body's mind, in my mind, with some electrolytes and felt a lot better. I might not have gone through those. I mean, it was a literal withdrawal. It's like, you know, I've never had any kind of addiction thing. You know, a lot of people talk about how hard it is to get off of certain drugs, and that's what I felt like I went through the first week and a half, 2 weeks. But afterwards, it was like, I was looking through the world with rose-colored glasses, because I felt the best that I had in a long time. And the second mistake that I made was, the ground beef was fine, but it's just, you know, it's ground beef, it's alright. You can only make it taste so good. But the steaks that I was getting were, I just went with the New York strip because I didn't really know what I was doing. New York strip is very, very, very lean. I wasn't consuming enough fat. I wasn't getting enough of the fat nutrients into my body. And with it being so lean, if I would have went with a fattier type of meat, and it was in this time that I started playing around with, okay, what different, you know, steaks were better. Like, of course, you know, a ribeye is gonna be good. I think that's what I had. I think like just over the 2-week mark, I let myself celebrate with a ribeye, and I felt a lot better off of that. So I started experimenting with different cuts. I tried different roast. I did, you know, beef ribs, and that's when I finally settled on the chuck steak. Chuck steak, between the amount of fat, the size of it, the cost of it, it just works really, really well into the carnivore diet. So now I've eaten chuck steak almost every day for 6 months straight, and I swear by it. It's one of the only things I eat. I'll supplement with a ground beef patty now, but that's what I've done this on. That's what's fueled me, and that's what's helped me lose over 100 pounds in 7 months. In those 2 weeks, you know, I started jumping on the scale every day after day 5, because that was the only thing that motivated me. That's the only thing that really kept me going. And shoot, I'd drop a pound a day, a pound and a half a day, and I lost, it was about just under 20 pounds in 2 weeks. And if it wasn't for that, I probably would have quit. I probably would have said, no, I can't take it. So that little bit of instant gratification by saying, hey, I'm down even more, this is working, helped me a lot. But I could have made it a lot easier on myself. And do I regret it? Well, mentally, I know that I'm mentally tough enough to get through it. But yeah, I wish it would have been a lot easier on me. There's a lot of different supplements that you know, you can take that have electrolytes, that I would highly now recommend you doing, especially just getting started. Now, have I implemented that stuff into my life? No, I haven't. Why? Because I don't feel like I need it. I feel great. So until I start feeling something not good, I'm not gonna look at it. Do I salt my steak and eat? Do I still salt my steak? I don't. Do I put pepper on it? I don't. Every once in a while, like with the ground beef, what I might do is I might throw a little bit of garlic salt on there and some pepper, because ground beef to me just doesn't taste very good anymore. So if you consider doing the carnivore diet, do these 2 things and make your life a little bit easier. Supplement yourself with some sort of electrolytes, and then secondly, get fattier cuts of meat. The fattier the better. Shoot, I'd eat fat at this point just by itself. Why? Because it's weird. I never used to like it. I used to cut it off, put it off to the side, and maybe even throw it away, give it to the dogs. But now I look forward to it. I save it as my dessert for the end. So I hope this helps you, so you don't have to go through the same withdrawals, the same feelings that I did, and you can get started on your own carnivore journey. All right, see ya.